PlayStation again. I know. Oh my god, another PlayStation video. I can't believe I'm watching PlayStation.
Fucking
oh
PlayStation.
My god. Guys, no, listen. We gotta talk about PlayStation because seriously.
Bro, I haven't had a PlayStation since PS3. I got a PS3 to play The Last of Us, played it, and immediately sold the PlayStation 3.
See, something interesting is going down over at the PlayStation main account. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but let's just go over it again really quick for those that may not have seen it. So PlayStation on their main account, they ended up posting about the physical media destruction that everybody's talking about right now, which, by the way, you guys are doing an amazing job. You need to keep on the pressure because this company has been quiet for 6 days now. They announced this 6 days ago. They haven't said a single thing. This is the longest time they've ever been silent on their social media profiles. 6 days, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're not silent now. They said something about a fighting stick and everybody's pissed.
Right, so you guys are doing amazing. But here's the thing. During those 6 days, PlayStation ended up getting community noted on their post, right? And that community note...
they were still active, trying to protect this post.
...has been deleted multiple times.
That's
Pirate
funny.
Nation screenshotted 8 different community notes, but I know that it's more. It's way more than just 8 community notes. And it goes to show that PlayStation is actively trying to suppress the conversation that's happening around this situation because we all know that they want this to be something that is uncontested. They probably didn't think there was going to be this level of backlash. They probably accounted for...
They're out of touch. They don't know what people are like on the internet. They don't know what the internet culture is like.
A little bit because there usually is, but they didn't realize...
They used to control the culture, but they don't have control of the culture anymore. We make our own culture.
Just what extent this was actually going to go to. So in this segment, what we're going to do is we're going to check out these community notes, see what they're saying, because some of them are such a massive felt for PlayStation that honestly, like you kind of just have to go over it. And then we're just going to go over some other comments that are being made in response to all of this nonsense going down. So let's talk about it, man. But really quick, before we do, guys, please keep up the pressure. All right. If you're a PlayStation owner, if you're a PlayStation player, or even if you're not.
Dude, I never let the pressure go. I've been on them for years, and I've been on them more and more than I've ever been because I'm learning how to make content faster.
Not at the end of the day, people are actively getting together to push back against this nonsense because realistically, this does in some way, shape, or form affect pretty much every gamer out there. And we are witnessing firsthand one of the greediest moves that we've ever seen. And we've seen a lot. Like, if you've been around in gaming for as long as I have, you have seen pretty much everything. But this is by far one of the greediest moves that we've ever seen ever in gaming history. And they're going to follow suit, right? If PlayStation gets away with it, and they're not contested whatsoever, Xbox is going to follow. Everybody's going to follow. Everybody's going to follow. So Pirate Nation says the following. PlayStation now has 8 community notes on the post in over 154 million views, which is more than the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer. That's how pissed people are. Remember how excited people were for Grand Theft Auto? All the normies were just losing their mind. They're like, yes, I get to play the same game for the next 15 years, just like I played the same game for the last 12 years. I'm excited. I can't wait. Well, now all of that has gone down the crapper. Not for all of them, but for some of them. Then it says that they have gone completely silent for 6 days. 6 days after the announcement of ending physical media.
That's a fucking lifetime on the internet.
And everyone is waiting for their next move. And that's true. Everybody is waiting for their next move to see what exactly they're going to do and what the response is going to be. And I got to be honest with you, I don't think they're going to do anything at all. I think their next post is going to be a double down about when you can expect XYZ video game to be digital only or whatever. Like, I'm sure it's going to be a double down at this point. So let's see some of these community notes because they're actually kind of funny. First and foremost, at the top left, it says digital purchases are licenses, not ownership. Sony can revoke access. This raises concerns about long-term ownership, game preservation, resale, lending, and reliance on servers and stores. The software is licensed to you, not sold. You know what the most...
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the software being licensed to me as long as I can do whatever the fuck I want with it, and as long as it's being preserved.
The amazing thing about all this, though, and I said this in my last video, is that what this is going to do at the very least is this is going to inform and wake up so many people. Right? Think about it. This post has almost 160 million views. That doesn't necessarily mean 160 million different people saw it, but I guarantee you over 100 million people saw it. That's a lot of people, and most of the people that saw that probably found out from a friend of a friend, and now there are people out there that are being informed about this stuff that really had no idea. There are still so many people out there that buy physical media.
I used to get so much pushback even just a week ago on all this shit, but whenever Sony announced the death of physical games and then all these layoffs keep getting worse and worse and worse, and we keep saying this, and all of the things that we've been saying about Xbox Game Pass being a failure, and they're just lying about it, all of that being true now, everybody's agreeing with us, we were right the whole time, nobody's pushing back at me now, and when they do, they're just getting absolutely eviscerated.
Especially on consoles, and they don't even realize that they're just buying a license, because these consoles and these companies, they utilize permanent terms. They utilize terms like buy now, on sale now. They use those terms, which showcases permanent ownership, but you don't actually have permanent ownership of what you're buying and what you're licensing out. They don't use the proper terms because they know if they do use the proper terms like rent this or rent that, they're not going to sell nowhere near as many copies by doing so. So they make sure to utilize the word buy because they can kind of loophole it and say, well, you're buying the license. Well, that's not what it looks like, right? When you're selling the game, you're selling the game. You're not saying that they're buying the license. Yeah, you're saying that in the EULA and you're saying that in the terms of service, but you're not saying that on the store page. On the store page, you're showing the game and they're buying the game. And that's what people are thinking in their mind. So there's an immense amount of people out there that really don't know any better. And what this is going to do is educate those people at the very least. To now they're going to start looking at other options to potentially own their video games if an all digital future is going to be a reality on these consoles. The second one in the middle says the 78-22 digital to physical split. This figure includes all games sold globally, many of which are digital only indie video games, live service titles, DLCs, which are digital only, or smaller projects and never receive a physical release.
DLCs digital only. Remember when Borderlands had a DLC disc? I missed that. And I could just hand it over to my friend, and he can also have the DLC, just install it to his Xbox.
Due to budget constraints. We made a whole video about that, by the way. If you missed that, go check it out on the channel. But basically, we were talking about how the, 78-22, 80-20 split about digital-only video games, how 80% of games sold today are digital. That metric is completely skewed. And the reasons why that metric is skewed. We went over all of that. If you missed it, go check out the other video. Then this one particular, this is amazing. We also went over this. From the Insomniac leak, PlayStation's own single-player video games make up 60 to 77% of physical sales. The data being used to argue for higher digital purchases include DLC expansions, digital-only games such as early access games, and live service video games. So again, all the same information that we've already went over. Now we got the one in the middle left here. Sony's pushing the digital format, eliminating physical media, and closing its PS3 and PS Vita stores. This will severely damage the secondhand market and retail outlets. It's not going to severely damage it. It's going to kill it. It's going to kill it. There is no way to trade video games that are made past 2028. So everything before then is going to be what's available. There's going to be no new stock or influx of anything new in the retail market for secondhand. Like nothing is going to be available. So after
I don't even don't even care about that. GameStop, people defending GameStop, I don't get it. In Game Exchange, I don't like those places. I don't really like the secondhand market very much because it's a ripoff most of the time, and they sell a bunch of other crap that I just don't like. I like to buy my used games from places like flea markets and thrift shops and Goodwill.
After more and more time goes by, it's going to become harder and harder to access stuff that's basically stagnated. It's only a matter of time, and that's what they're planning on. They want to kill it off so that if anybody wants to buy a video game from them, they have to buy it new through them, or they could buy it on sale through them. But at the end of the day, it's through them. You can't go secondhand for anything anymore. They don't want that. The EU has sanctioned Apple for comparable practices regarding digital rights, and then they link it, obviously, with Europa. And then in the middle says Article 102 of the TFEU, which is the European Union prohibits a company in a dominant position from abusing that position, particularly by imposing unfair conditions, limiting production or innovation to the detriment of consumers or distorting competition. Well, that's another thing too. It is realistically, it is all about distorting competition because the secondhand market is competition to the new market, right? Imagine if you were not allowed to buy and sell used cars. Imagine if you couldn't do that. Imagine
That's
if the
coming
only
soon.
way to get a vehicle is by buying it new. The reason why you have used vehicles to buy at a cheaper price is because somebody ate the cost and bought it new. That's the reason why. It's the same thing with video games. So the reason why you have access to used cheaper video games that are more into some people's budgets and allows them to play more video games is because somebody ate the cost and bought it new, right? So having that ability is great because it allows that term, like, it just kind of like feeds off each other. There are some people that'll only buy used. There are some people that'll buy used when they have to, but then if they can afford it, they'll upgrade to a new car or something like that. Like it all feeds each other, you know? So now you're going to get to the point where you're basically saying, yeah, we don't want used cars.
It started with the tractors, man, with the John Deeres. Not allowed to work on your own tractors, and then you can't work on your own cars. That's already a thing. Pretty soon, you just won't be able to make money off of your car. You'll have to return it to the dealership. You might get somewhat of a refund, and then they're going to refurbish, and then they're going to sell it at nearly the same ridiculous price. Guarantee that it's coming.
Cars. We only want new cars. So now all the used car dealerships are going to die. They're going to completely die. Or they're going to be buying and selling the same old cars, and eventually they're going to run out of inventory. It's exactly what they want for video games. But anyway, so it says phasing out physical PlayStation on the right side here. Media raises anti-consumer concerns, chiefly the loss of game ownership, which has already been happening, right? Moving entirely digital means users buy revocable licenses rather than permanent assets, allowing Sony to pull access at a will while eliminating resale and preservation. So again, all these notes that they have tried to delete over and over and over and over and over again.
Embarrassing.
Realistically, it doesn't really matter what they try to do. At the end of the day, it's going to keep going up, bro. It's like you're not going to beat the internet at this point. The internet is not going to lose in this scenario. And this is why I keep telling people, you're at the crossroad, right? You do what you want to do. You do what's best for you. And I understand if some people, I got some comments on my video before. So for some people who are PlayStation users and they're like, they would love to go to PC, but right now they're strapped for cash. It's a little difficult. Most of their libraries with PlayStation, so they don't want to let it go. Like, I get all that. I totally understand that. And if it doesn't work out for you, then it doesn't work out. Like, if you want to stick with PlayStation, stick with them. But at least now you can choose to decide if you want to stay or not with more information at your disposal versus being completely just oblivious to what's going on. Right? Like, obviously, not everybody's going to know what's going on, but I think a lot more people are now being informed about what's actually happening, right? The best one is the last two, by the way. If you look, it says Sony's pushing a digital monopoly. Ending physical discs and closing PS3 and Vita store turns purchases into revocable licenses under Sony's control. The EU penalized Apple for comparable DMA abuses. PlayStation is eroding ownership and consumer rights the same exact way. And then the last one. Sony has neither the customer support nor the account security to support an all-digital ecosystem. Can we harp on that for a second really quick? The company...
Yeah, that means that they're just going to start deleting games that they can't afford anymore. They're going to start shutting down servers.
That has been hacked the most, right? PlayStation, the company who literally one of their most prominent creators, right? One of their most prominent creators, Colin Moriarty, the guy who just loves PlayStation so much to death, the guy who threatened to quit live streaming if he didn't get access to his PlayStation account again. One of the most prominent PlayStation accounts got hacked internally, by the way. It seems that way anyway. Somebody internally gave access or found a way to give access to a hacker who targeted Colin Moriarty's account, got it taken away from him, and he used all his resources to get his account back in like 48 hours, when realistically they told him, PlayStation support told him, because they don't know who Colin is, obviously, PlayStation support told him, yeah, we're going to work on it. It's going to take a couple of weeks. If it was any normal guy, any normal person without the actual connections, he would have been asked out for weeks, and there's no guarantee he would even got his account back because there's so many people that got hacked in a similar fashion and didn't get their accounts back. So imagine leaving
I
your
wouldn't have got
entire
mine.
digital library to a company that not only gets hacked as a network, but then doesn't even
Yeah, if that kind of thing happens to me, I'm just out on that service.
give a shit about protecting your own
Which I'm
personal
out on all
account in any way
services.
whatsoever. It's crazy, bro. It's like I don't understand why people would feel okay being surrounded by that particular ecosystem, being enclosed in that ecosystem. I just don't get how that's like, I don't know, man.
Nostalgia,
I don't get how that's a
probably.
thing. So Colin had to use all of his resources, all of the things that he had under his belt, all the connections to studios, everybody that he could call. He called, and it took like a little over a day to get his account back. But any Joe Schmo would not have been able to get their account back very easily, if at all. It's been proven already. Now, again, is that to say that everybody gets hacked? No, of course not. But what I'm telling you is that this company has
It
the
can
worst
happen to
history
you.
with security. It's not even close. It's not like I'm just saying that to shit on them. That's the literal truth. PlayStation has the worst account security, the worst network security, and you're supposed to trust them with an all-digital
It has been like that since PS3.
ecosystem as if they're doing you a favor by doing that? No, of course not. That's insane. That doesn't make any sense, in my opinion. Right? So, again, guys, I think that this is a really good way to display what's going on here. Check this out. Watch this. That's so good, man. Because it's accurate. It's so accurate.
The gaming industry is so cooked, man.
It's like you take one down, we're going to put one right back up. You take another one down, we're going to put one right back up. That's just what it's going to be. And you can try, you can keep trying to take it down. You can keep trying to do what you want to do. But realistically, I ain't going to work, man. I don't know if PlayStation doesn't have a, I don't know if PlayStation has any experience with the internet, but yeah, they think they're going to be able to get away from this one.
I don't think it's really PlayStation. I think it's just everybody at PlayStation and all these people that are in these game studios. They just care about the other people in the game studios and the people in their little bubbles, because everybody else who has any kind of criticism are just labeled haters. And it's like this in the entire industry, in the entire entertainment industry. It's not just in the gaming industry. And I am so glad that we're finally chipping away at all this bullshit.
So again, guys, all I can say is you make whatever decision is best for you. Look at this. PlayStation has been uploading on their YouTube channel, so make sure you head over there and make your voices heard. You do what you want to do, but if you care about the PlayStation platform, if you really cared about the platform, and you weren't just somebody who's out there console warring because you got nothing else better to do, right? If you cared about the platform, you would do everything you possibly could to try to make that platform better. And what's happening right now to that platform is not making it better. It's only making it worse. And if you really want to stick around on that platform, and you can, obviously it's up to you, then you should be out there doing your best to fight for your own platform that you care about so much. Honestly, like if you want to ditch it, you could ditch it. But if you want to stick around, or if you can only stick around, then you should be fighting all these people and all these shills out there that are telling you that, oh, it's perfectly fine, just let it happen.
You need to push back against the people that are labeling criticism as hate. That is probably the biggest thing, because there's still so many chronic online defenders for these corporations, and they just do it to be against you, and it's making everything so much worse.
The shills out there that are like, I haven't bought any games physically. I buy all my video games full price. Like, yeah, okay. The corporate dick eaters, yeah, they can go to hell. They're not the ones that are going to make your platform.
And most of them are lying anyway.
Better. They're the ones that benefit from people that fight the fight that they don't want to fight. They're the ones that benefit, because at the end of the day, they're just there to make the company feel good about themselves so that they can keep benefiting while you lose. Yeah, no, screw that. If you are somebody who cares about the PlayStation platform, you should be fighting them. Because again, and I've said this all the time, just because you like a platform or just because you like something doesn't mean you have to show for it. It doesn't mean that you have to be a fanboy. Who cares if they feel some sort of way about it? I care about Steam, which is why when they mess up, we criticize them. We call them out on it. We do the same exact thing. It doesn't matter. We say what's good. We say what's bad. We say what's ugly. You should be able to do the same thing with these consoles. And right now, PlayStation is at a point where they feel like they can take advantage of you. They feel like that you're not going to do a damn thing. And they feel like that the people that this actually matters to are smaller than the people that don't care. So right now, with the way that the voices are very loud, they need to stay loud as long as possible. Because if PlayStation wouldn't come to social media in 6 days, I feel like that says a lot. It feels like they are essentially trying their best to come up with a strategy behind closed doors, because this company has never gone this long without being on social media. They have never gone this long without posting something.
And I can tell you 6 days, that ain't long enough, man. They're going to have to, I don't know, they're going to have to completely restructure everything and use people who watch Asmongold in their company. That's really all it's going to take. Otherwise, I think they're completely fucked. Every single one of these gaming corpos are completely fucked. They don't know who the culture is that's playing their games. Or they're trying to alienate those people to try and get a new audience because they don't like them. But you can't do that because the audience that you're searching for does not exist.
So they're quiet for a reason. And it's because they know what's about to happen. This picture's hilarious, by the way. They'll be butchered if they post this week. This is hilarious. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta drop it again. It really does go with everything. Look at this, man. Look at this. Gia. You got GOG at the bottom right. Bro, man. Steam's like, oh my God. Everybody's pointing at Steam as the monopoly. Meanwhile, everybody else is shooting themselves. Crazy, bro. It's so insane. Sony wants to go Grand Theft all customers. What's this? Bro, what is this?
What is that?
Oh, man. Her face says it all, man. It says it all. It's so good. It's so good. I believe this must be a record for the longest period Sony has ever stayed silent. It is. It is. Normally they would have said something by now. But anyway, that's basically it, guys.